In the famous words of Dave Chappelle, modern problems require modern solutions. Is that actually a Dave Chappelle quote? That's always just his face on that meme. Okay, whatever. Modern problems require modern solutions. Chris, tell us what Florida is implementing to combat school shooting, a modern problem.
Yeah, so it's move-in season for a lot of people on college campuses, and also it's back to school for a lot of people who have children. And one of the biggest fears that's out there, one of the crazy crimes that we've seen in this brave new world, this modern age, is school shootings. And I was just looking at the numbers. In 2008, there were 18 school shootings, and now you go to 2024, 83. So 2024 was the highest on record for school shootings, and so far this year, from the data that I gathered, which is kind of a month old, there were 33 already. And there was just a hoax on Thursday at Villanova when people were moving into school, onto the university campus, where people were worried that there was a school shooter on campus. So this is a pathology. It's a intense fear that young people have of somebody coming to school with a gun. And
can I just ask you a quick question before we move on? Just with those numbers, are they conflated? Because I feel like they're not 83 school shootings a year. Does that include like just inner city shootings happening near a school?
Could be a little cooked, but the general. This is data. I will cite.
They make a big deal whenever
CNN.
there's a big school.
The data is from CNN.
Like whenever there's a big one, it's like all over the place.
But I did review some of the cases, and just as Josh said, that does seem to be happening. But going back to Florida, so before I get into what they're doing, I'm going to show you something pretty amazing, and it's what they're doing. But we'll get back to that. So let's take a visual look at what your school in your child's neighborhood, or your school yourself, or your college campus could look like with this great, awesome new product.
Let's see.
As soon as our team is alerted, we can see a virtual copy of the school building on our screens in our ops room, and we can see all the camera feeds from the school. Our goal is to respond in 5 seconds, find and confront the shooter with drones in 15 seconds, then if needed, degrade or incapacitate the shooter in 60 seconds. We can fly quickly through school corridors and also come through windows as needed to gain access to the threat.
So you see that they're breaking through windows. So that was one of the questions we first got. How are they going to get in there if the door is locked or something like that? Well, no, this thing can go 100 miles an hour. It could ram in there. They did a demo where they rammed into somebody at 60 miles an hour, and it's kind of to disorient them. First, what it does is it has a siren that goes out, and it asks the school shooter, the assailant, to surrender. If they refuse to do so, it has a pepper gun that sprays them, so it disorients them. And then it can shoot air bullets. And then my favorite, at the end, a kinetic energy hit, which is it just, attacking.
Rams into them.
Attacking. Yeah, ramming into them.
Well, you saw that went through that window.
And they say that they can implement at a standard school 20 to 60 of these drones.
Imagine getting rammed by 20 to 60 drones.
Yeah, all at once. I don't know if they do it all at once, but on the demos that I saw, they show you one.
Imagine if you're not the school shooter and you're just the guy.
Right? That's what I'm
thinking. It also says, in some cases, they've sent a dog in there after the guy who's murdering people in the school, and they say that this actually is a good thing that they're using these drones because there's no more dog fatalities in a school shooting incident. And somebody asked me, how much was this cost? What is this going to be worth? These kids are going to watch their school shooter be taken out by a drone. They're going to be traumatized. They're going to be traumatized watching their friends die. I mean, this is a pretty good deal. They're saying they could at a standard school with 1,000 students, they can supply it for like $1,000 a month.
Really?
For a subscription. Yeah, like a subscription.
Do you think they could use it to stop bullying too, or other?
Come on.
So back to Florida. We can go back now. We showed you the teaser of what this new product is. This one specifically is from Campus Guardian Angels. It's an interesting organization. They say that they have like top drone pilots all operating remotely. They have a 5-second response.
Wait, so you're
time.
saying this is a human is driving this thing?
Yeah, this are remotely operated.
I
I just assumed it was AI.
No, if
They can
it's
spring into
humans
action in
driving
5
it, I
seconds.
support it. I wouldn't
They can
support
spring
AI
into
doing
action
it.
in 5 seconds.
I assumed it was
And
AI.
they can distract, distort, confront, degrade, and incapacitate the shooter.
Oh, so hold on. Before you move on, just so I understand. So you're paying $1,000 a month subscription. In case the alarm goes off, somebody at the headquarters of this company
Yes.
just has access.
They're just like an alarm system where they give you a call if it goes off. They're going to be springing into action. They have the map of the school already. They know where to go. They have flight paths already. They know how to get to you. They want to get there in 5 seconds because they say the majority of the killing that happens in a school shooting takes place in the first 120 seconds. And if they can get there before law enforcement, they gave a statistic, it takes them 3 minutes on average to arrive at a school shooting. If they can do this before, they'll stop a lot of death.
Arrive too, by the way. That's not even arrive inside of the
And
building.
then go
right?
in,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
they're kind of strategizing outside. What are we going to do? This thing is springing into action. So back to Florida. Florida is the first state that's doing a test of this. So they approved recently a little over $550,000. Governor Ron DeSantis approved to try this out at a few schools. And they did some demos. I don't know specifically which schools they're going to try it out at. Maybe it's a good thing.
Maybe
they
they
don't tell
shouldn't
us.
tell, yeah, exactly.
But I know that they did a test at a school in Tallahassee, the capital of Florida, and also one in Miami-Dade County, very populated region of the state. And they worked this into the budget. They say that this is going, even though this costs $500,000, and the math doesn't really add up if you consider they're saying that they're going to sell it for $1,000 a month for a standard school. You think, oh, it's a government contract, maybe it's a little bloated. But regardless of that, they say that schools.
Hold on, two schools?
Yeah, like two to three.
I was going to ask you how many schools are getting this. Two schools for half a
that
mil?
much money. I don't know. So they say, this is how they justify it. They say that schools on average spend $17 billion a year on security personnel. And they say that comes from the White House. They also said that in the, I guess, past year, they don't really list the statistics, 605 armed students went into high school or carried a gun, and I guess the gun was taken away from them. There's been 1,000 school shootings in the past 3 years. I don't really know a lot of, they're listing a lot of information. They're trying to make the sell on the website of why you might want to incorporate this on your campus. But it is kind of very interesting that, and I think it's a pretty good technology, that if you can get something that's not a human, just like an AI robot, in warfare, that can be housed on the property, that, can be activated by an administrator at the school, and it can go ahead. People have a worry about having a human with a gun on campus. I do wonder, though, about, having a drone that
But
can...
there is non-lethal
But
force,
yes,
right?
it is, for the most part, I guess, non-lethal. I mean, except those blasts, they say, or the drone ramming into you is kind of like a BB gun.
I guess if they get hacked or something, that would be the concern, right? That somebody could be
Would
very
be able,
malicious.
and I think maybe that's a good thing that they're not listing where the schools are. But
Yeah.
I can imagine there'd be a high, first cost and then a subscription because they have to map out the whole school, place them in there,
Yes.
et cetera, et cetera. So that would make sense.
maybe there's a startup cost that they're not taking into account when they list the budget. Yeah,
Well, you said there's, I forgot how many billions of schools spend on security guards.
17 they say.
17 billion, that's throughout the whole country?
Yeah.
It seems kind of low, actually, to be honest.
But here's an important factor in that.
A year.
The security guards at schools are not just dealing with school shootings; they're dealing with
Oh, a lot of things.
general security.
And they're not going to go away. This will be in addition to that 17 billion, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
because the security guard doesn't want to be put in the position now that they're
Of course.
they're defending.
To be honest, this if it's a human doing the droning and they have it all set up, it seems good. It seems like, but it's one of those insurance things where it's like you get it and you hope it works when you need it. I hope that this technology is as good as they're selling it, and it's not just something that makes you feel like you have a good solution, but when it's when push comes to shove.
Yeah, and I don't even know what the trial really is supposed to do, like the pilot program. Like, are they supposed
Wait
to
for
wait
the shooting, yeah. But I would
shooting?
say if it is proven effective, it could be a good deterrent.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Well, in my opinion, I think I think it's a good thing. I don't like what it means for society itself that we
it's
have
needed.
robot security guards now. Because it's going to be schools first. Eventually, policing is heading in this direction also. And I'd say on the really negative side, these things are commercially available. You will probably also see criminals start to use them, and shooters probably start to use
Yeah,
them.
another thing that popped into my mind when I was looking at this, if they can do this on campus to protect the school in case of a school shooting, what happens if we start seeing school drone attacks where people are being hit
Sending in drones.
by a drone to terrorize the students?
And this stuff started up in the Syrian war. The things that people can kind of jerry-rig when it comes to automated weapons, it's terrifying actually. We haven't seen terrorists use it outside of like war zones yet, but that stuff already exists. It's horrifying. Yeah. But I do think in terms of police and maybe security companies using this, great, because I know it's really traumatic for police to go and respond to shootings. Like, there was the Uvalde incident where the police were criticized for not wanting to go in. Fine, it's bad they didn't do it, but can you really fault someone for not wanting to put their life on the line?
In that case, I would say
you
yes.
kind of sign up.
I know you sign up for them. My point is, it's easy to criticize somebody when it's not you. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd like to believe I'd be the first one to kick down the door and run in there, and I wouldn't care. But it's easy to say that. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe that still will happen, and just like they said, this will kind of buy time for the police. It could maybe incapacitate the person, or at least stun them, or get them to stop actively killing people and focusing on these flying robots.
Yeah, listen, school shootings are a bad reality, but since it's a reality, I guess you just need to choose the best of the worst solutions to it. And this one doesn't seem that bad, but it does seem like, to your point, if this works, like you fast forward 20 years, the technology gets even better, it becomes slightly, more ubiquitous. Then if you're a mayor of some city, or you own a mall in some Middletown America, or middle of nowhere America, then it's like the question then becomes, why wouldn't you have it installed in your mall, or in your fairgrounds, or in your movie theater, or anything? And then it's like,
Or your city.
yeah, and then you fast forward another 80 years, and there's a bad government, and suddenly there's drones everywhere, and you can't do anything because the moment you move, the drones are watching you. Your kids are CRISPR'd and gene edited to be exactly how they're supposed to be. I don't know. Is this a good future? It seems like we're moving in a bad direction. But so I don't know. I endorse this this school shooting drone technology, but I don't like where it's going.
Prevention technology.
Yeah, prevention technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Modern problem for a modern solution. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, I know exactly what you're thinking. That was a great clip you just watched. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to follow, and also check out either these videos, or maybe they're on this side. I don't know which side they're on, but we set it up so these are the videos that YouTube is suggesting to you as the best ones that you'll probably like the most. So check them out, this side, and until next time.